Hey guys, today we're going to be playing with a palette that I got in the mail the other day from Unearthly Cosmetics. You guys know I love the brand, and when I saw this palette on their Instagram at first when it was coming out, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to love this color story, like it's fine, it's maybe not for me, and then I got it sent, and now that I have it in my hands, I'm like, wow, this palette is beautiful. So we're going to be trying out the Leather and Lace palette. Now, normally this isn't the kind of color story that I would be drawn to, but there's something about these tones that really makes me intrigued, and I feel like this is the kind of palette that a neutral lover would love and be able to experiment with color with, if that makes sense, because there are some really grounding shades in here, and there's also some more popping shades, and the shimmers look amazing, and I think that you're gonna be able to create a lot of wearable, colorful looks with this palette, and I'm just really excited. This palette is available at the moment if you wanted to pick it up. It's actually in stock. I will of course leave all the details down below in my description box. The palette is $40 and you can use my code Annette to save 10% off, so it'll make it a little bit cheaper. They also sent me a magnetic palette that they came out with, which I wanted to buy this myself, honestly, and I think if they hadn't sent me this, I would have bought it because it's so cool. And I put all of my, well, not all of them, but most of my Unearthly Cosmetics blushes and some of the highlighters in here because I felt like they would just be a good home. Now, obviously, you can tell there's some room on the sides here, and that's probably because this palette is more meant for eyeshadows, and they didn't make it so that the face products would fit perfectly in here. That's just kind of my guess. But this is such a cool palette, and I thought we could use some of these today as well because I still haven't gotten around to using all of these, and I do have my favorite colors, so there's definitely colors that I've been reaching for more than others, so I think we'll do that last. We'll start with the eyes, so I'm just gonna go ahead and prime with my Natasha Denona eyeshadow base, and we'll see what I can do with this. I'm thinking I want to play with basically everything but the neutrals. Not to be that person, but like, I just want to play with all of the other shades because I'm sure that the neutrals are going to be amazing because neutrals tend to always be amazing from most brands. So I want to see if the rest of the palette is good because then if it is, I can definitely recommend it knowing that the neutrals are going to be great as well. And I think I want to do the sort of purpley tones on my top lid and then maybe the green tones underneath my eye. It's not going to go with what I'm wearing today, which I mean, really, it's kind of tough to get anything that would match with this palette, but I'm just gonna roll with it. I really just wanted to wear this shirt today, okay? Like, sometimes I wake up and I'm like, I just want to wear what I want to wear. I don't care what I'm filming with. It's probably not gonna match, but I'm just gonna wear this anyway because it makes me happy. I'm going to start with probably this shade. Now, I could definitely use this as a transition shade, but honestly, like, this is probably crazy, but I think that mauves are my least favorite eyeshadow color of all time because every time I try to wear a mauve matte eyeshadow, it just looks like I got punched in the face and I don't like it. So I'm probably just gonna use these two in my crease. I definitely could blend it out with something else, but I don't think I'm gonna need to, so I'm just gonna go into this one first. This one is called Mahogany. And I saw a sneak peek on their Instagram not that long ago where they show the palette with like circular pans and a smaller palette. And I think now that they've shown it, it's a full palette just of shimmer shadows, and that makes me so excited because I loved, back when they had the round pans, I thought that their shimmer formula was a little bit better. That could just be personal preference, but I really, really like the shimmers that they had in that format. And I find that the new ones are they're just different, you know, and they're still fine. They're still really good shadows, but for me, I prefer the circular ones, so I'm really excited about their newest palette, and since it is an all shimmer palette, it just means that I get to play with all of my other fun mattes that I have in my collection as well and can pull from different things, and I love that. Like, that has been one of my favorite things to do, especially when I'm not filming. I tend to really have fun with my mattes and dip into palettes that maybe I haven't used in a while, and then I will play with some of my more like fun shimmers, and I feel like that shimmer palette that they're coming out with is going to be great for that, and I can't wait. Like, Unearthly makes such nice products, and I just have such a good experience with basically everything from them, and I'm so grateful that I'm on their PR list because otherwise I would have spent too much money buying all the stuff they come out with because their stuff is always so cute, and I love the packaging, and I love their concepts, and I love their color stories, and I think that they just do such a good job. I'm trying to keep this color sort of low down just so that I have a little bit of room to work on blending this color out on its own as well when I'm done putting this down, but this is going on very nicely. Just gonna switch to a clean fluffy brush here, and I'm just gonna start blending out the edges of this eyeshadow with this brush. See how nicely this is blending out? Like, this is what I mean. Like, if you have a good eyeshadow, you really don't need transition shades because you can use any shade as a transition shade as long as you're, you know, you just take your time and really blend it out, and you can get a good smooth transition with any one color, even darker ones. It's just going to take a little bit more maybe back and forth than if you were to use 3 different colors, but I think that I'll be able to get this to look like I've used 3 different colors, even though I've only really used 1, because this one is so easy to work with, very versatile in that way. So now that I have like the actual blend down, I'm gonna go back in with the other brush and just go in with more product and really intensify like the depth in the crease. Okay, I think this looks good. I am gonna dip into the darkest of the shades here as well, just to get a little bit more depth in the outer corner. So I'm gonna take this one, which is called Aubergine, which is a very fitting name for this color. I'm just gonna put some of that in the very outer corner of my eye. I just wanna see how much deeper this shade is. Oh, it's definitely deeper. I love that color. That is really, really pretty. So I really like how this is looking. I think I'm gonna go in with the greens now, and hopefully those are gonna blend quite nicely in the outer corner here. Maybe it's a little bit messy, but I think they're dark enough that I'll be able to get a good blend. So I'm actually gonna start with the darkest shade here. This one is called Olive, and I'm just gonna take this basically all the way across my lower lash line, and then I will use the lighter of the greens to sort of blend this out with, and mostly have the lightest of the greens in the front portion of my lower lash line, I think. I feel like this isn't looking quite as dark on the eyes as maybe it is in the pan here, but that's okay. I'm just gonna take my time and build this up and get a nice layer of it on my eye and see how dark I'm able to get it. But I really like the grunginess of this color. I feel like it's very like swamp-like, and I really like grungy greens. I think that they're very suitable for really everybody, and I think that if you're someone who is a little bit scared of like bright colors, having colors like this is a good place to start to get into color if you want to start experimenting a little bit. So I'm blending these together in the outer corner, and it's definitely creating a little bit of a muddy blend, but that is okay. It's not like that visible. I'm gonna go back in with a little bit of the darkest of the purples. I know this is like a lot of back and forth, but I just want to make sure the blend in the very outer corner here is looking good and that the colors are really like blended together. Okay, and then I'm gonna take another fluffy brush. I'm using so many brushes for this, and I really need to wash my brushes, so maybe I shouldn't be doing that, but it's fine, it's fine. I'm gonna take the shade here called Vintage, which is the beautiful green right up here, and I can't wait to put this on my eyes. This isn't probably going to show up as intense here as it is in the pan because I'm just gonna use this as my blending shade. I'm not really packing it on. I just wanna have a little tint of this and also just help with the blend a little bit, and I feel like that's exactly what it's doing. That looks really nice. Okay, fun. I like this. I'm next gonna take some of my NYX glitter primer because I'm gonna put on shimmers, and when I put on shimmers, I always use my NYX glitter primer because I just find that they go on so much smoother. It's so much easier to get like a nice application. I don't necessarily use this because I feel like it makes my makeup last longer. Honestly, sometimes having too much glitter primer on my eyes will make my shadows crease faster, which sounds very counterproductive. But I just like the way that the shadows look on the eyes more when I use a glitter primer because it really makes them so much shinier and just impactful, and I love that. So let's go ahead and see which ones do I want to use. I'll probably use this one and this one if I had to guess. So we're gonna start with this one. This is the shade called Applique, or is it Applique? I'm really not sure. It could be either, but English is not my first language, so I really don't care if I'm wrong. That's my excuse and I'm sticking with it. I'm just taking that basically in the outer portion of my lid here, and I'm blending it into the darker shades that I have in the outer corner. This is really, really pretty. These shades are definitely a little bit on the like sheer side. If that is something that you don't like, maybe you wouldn't like these, but I just find that they always blend into mattes so beautifully. Like, that is really pretty. I'm probably gonna go over this again with a little bit more of that dark matte because I couldn't help myself and I layered it out too much. But what are you gonna do? And for the front portion, I'm gonna take the shade called Chantilly, which is this one. And when I swatched it, it almost looked like it had a bit of a green duochrominess to it and like a pinky green shift. It was very, very cool. So I'm just gonna put that in the front portion of my lid. Right, like now it looks like such a pink shade, but it's together with the greens and it also kind of pulls green. It's such an interesting color. I really like that. I'm just gonna blend that into the other shade on my lid as well. These don't look that different, but I feel like in different lighting, you can probably see the shift in the shadow a lot better because it is beautiful. And I guess just because I want to try out the last shimmer as well, I can put a little bit of that underneath my eye. So I'm going to take this shade, which is called Point de Spirit. I probably said that wrong. Sorry, not sorry. And I'm not going to spray this. I'm just going to put a little bit of that right here just for a little pop of gold. And I'm gonna go ahead and finish off with my eyes, and then we can do some of the blushes and highlighters together as well. I feel like this shade in the palette would actually make for a pretty face highlighter, so maybe we'll try that. Okay, so this is where I'm at so far, and I went kind of crazy because I just couldn't help myself. I saw this lipstick from Unearthly in my drawer, and I was like, I haven't used this, I haven't had a good moment to use it. And it basically matches the underneath of my eye perfectly. And I was like, is this too much? Yeah, probably, but I don't care. I just wanted to use it. This is a shade called Mandy. It's one of the satin liquid lipsticks. I love this formula. I really, really want them to come out with just some more like nudes because I would wear this formula so much, but I find that a lot of the colors in that range are quite out there, which I mean, they're really, really cool, but for me, I don't like wearing very bold lipsticks out and about because I'm just messy. I say this all the time, but I don't want to have to worry about like, does my lipstick look okay still, you know? So I wish that they would come out with some more nudes because that would be right up my alley. For my waterline, I use one of the eyeliners from Unearthly. This is the shade called, or this is just shade number 6. And then I also put on some lashes, and these lashes, I gotta say, I've been loving these. I've been wearing them so often when I haven't been filming, and I found these in my drawer not that long ago, and I've probably had them for like 2 years. I think I got these in a BoxyCharm like way back in the day. These are from the brand called Baddington Lashes, and they're in the style Monroe 3D Silk Lashes. I will link them down below. They're quite expensive. I looked them up, and these are like 20 something dollars, but oh my god, I feel like they look so good. Like, I feel like these are maybe my perfect lashes. I don't know, but I've been loving them. They're so easy to apply. They stay on all day. They just look great, and I'm kind of obsessed. And I feel like I might be making a lash order and just picking up more of these. Never thought I would say this, but this is probably my, I want to say 4th time wearing these now, and I've been loving it every single time. So let's talk about the palette. Oh, actually, no, let's finish off the face. I haven't done that yet. Oh my god. Okay, so which of these blushes do I feel like is going to go the best with this look? Probably the peachy one up here, which honestly is one of the blushes that I've been using the most from this range because it's just the one that I feel like goes with the most looks. And these are also quite pigmented, so gotta be a little bit careful with them. This is a shade called Bloom, but this color is just so pretty. I really, really like this. And like I said, I've been reaching for this blush quite a bit, and all of these blushes, the formula is wonderful. I really like the formula of these. They're pretty easy to work with. Like I said, they're quite pigmented, but you can definitely share them out, and I find that they're maybe not as intimidating to work with as they look in the pan sometimes, but they're still, you can still build them up to be like very nice and intense. But this color is just such a perfect sort of goes with every look kind of blush, especially for me and for my skin tone, but I think this is just really, really cute. And I do think I want to use the highlighter in the palette, or the, I should say the eyeshadow in the palette as my highlighter, because that would just tie everything together. So let's go ahead and try that. I'm going to take the shade called Chantilly, which is this one up here. I don't know how this is going to look as a highlighter. I'm going to use a very, very flimsy brush here and just hope that it picks up a little bit because I don't want to have like too much of this. Oh, oh, that is beautiful. That looks really, really nice. I love that. Yes, 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 I love that. That is so pretty. A little bit on my nose as well. And I'm just gonna take my blush brush and go over the edges one more time just to make sure that these are nice and blended together. But I think this is going to be the look. I really like this lipstick, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's such a cool poopy green. And it just goes so nicely with the eye look as well. Like, if I was wearing a black top, like, this look would be everything. But this maybe clashes a little bit, but like I said, I really don't care. I'm still gonna wear this when I go out later. I'm probably gonna switch out my lipstick because, like I said, I'm just not that person. I want to be that person, but I'm just not that person. But let's talk about the palette. I think that this palette is so fun. Like, this is so much more fun than I expected when I sat down to film with this. I mean, I knew I would like it, but I also just feel like this look isn't exactly what I would have expected to come out of this, but it also kind of is. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but moral of the story is I really like this palette. I think it's really nice. If this is a color story that you think that you would like, I think that you would really like it. Because it's beautiful quality. It's the same quality that I'm used to with Unearthly. And like I said before, I'm so excited about their all shimmer palette. I feel like this palette would pair so beautifully with that. And maybe I'll try that. Maybe that's what I'll do when I get that palette. I wonder if they're sending out that palette in PR. If not, I'm definitely buying it because I want it, but this would be a great companion palette to the other palette that they're coming out with. So that's gonna be my thoughts. Let me know if you picked up this palette. Let me know if you're interested in this palette. Do you have anything from Unearthly, and what is your favorite product from them? I would say for me, it's probably, actually though, that's a tough question. I really like these lipsticks. I would say as a formula, they're one of my favorite lipstick formulas that have come out in a long time, but the colors are maybe not my perfect colors. And I also really like the blushes and their eyeshadow. I just like everything, okay? I'm gonna stop now. That's gonna be it for today's video. If you wanna see some more Unearthly cosmetics content, here is my playlist. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.